Hi, everybody. This is our first graders review of the streetcar named Desire. So here, the play begins with a citation from The Broken Tower by Hart Crane. It seems that this quotation already tells the story, the summary, the story of the streetcar named Desire. It says, and so it was I entered the broken world. So I entered the broken world to trace the visionary company of love, its voice. So I entered this broken world following, to follow the company of love, to follow the love and its voice. I followed love's voice and came into this broken world, and only an instant in the wind, I know not whither heard, I know not whether the love moved, sorry, moved or not, but not for long to hold its desperate choice. So this love, it didn't hold for a long time. It didn't last for a long time. It just disappeared in an instant in the wind. Disappeared quickly. Okay. So basically, the quotation says, "I followed the love and the voice of love and came into this broken world, and this world, this love disappeared really quickly without knowing." So this seems to tell the summary of this drama. So here we have a scene one. You guys remember from the conventions of drama, it says that the usually play consists of several acts and scenes. And act itself is a larger unit, and scene is a subdivision, smaller unit of the act. And also the convention says sometimes the scene itself it stands alone. This is what it means. Streetcar named Desire, they don't have act, only have scene. It's begin with the scene one. So scene is a smaller unit than the act, but it can still stand itself on its own. Okay, scene one. So the exterior of a two-story corner building on a street in New Orleans, which is named Elysian Field and runs between the LNL tracks and the river. Right? So we have this track, right? And we have this two-storage building, which is an Elysian Field, right? And Elysian Field is located between LNL track and the river, right? And this is a New Orleans. And the section is poor. This area, New Orleans area, the town, is quite poor. But unlike corresponding sections in other American cities, it has a raffish charm. Even though this area is rather poor, this area, New Orleans area, has a raffish charm. You guys remember the meaning of raffish? Unconventional, right? Quite unique charm. This area has quite unique charm, and the houses are mostly with white frame. So these houses in this area is usually white color and weathered gray. So weathered means old. Originally the color is white, and this house and buildings being so old, it became weathered gray, old gray with rickety outside stairs. So rickety means like poorly made, right? Poorly made. This house has poorly made outside stairs. The house has the stairs, right? Outside stairs. And this stair is poorly made one. And galleries. It has some galleries. Say, and just second story building, and this empty space right here is a gallery. It has galleries and quaintly ornamented gables. So quaintly means, you guys remember the meaning of quaintly, right? Old fashioned. It has old fashioned decorated, ornamented. Ornamented means decorated. Old fashioned decorated gable. Gable, I told you that gable is this area, right? So it has some old style gable. And this building contains two flats upstairs and down. And the building, Elysian Field, has two flats upstairs and downstairs, right? Upstairs and downstairs. And faded white stairs ascend to the entrance of both. So this house has stairs, outside stairs. One goes to a second floor and the other goes to the first floor. Okay? So there's stairs that ascend to entrances to both. So ascend, you guys know the meaning of ascend, right? Go up. And it is first dark of an evening early in May. So the background of time is May, month of May, and one evening it's becoming dark. The sky that shows around the dim white building is peculiarly tender blue. So this sky here is quite tender blue, okay, smooth blue color, almost turquoise. I told you the color of turquoise last time, right, guys? So like bluish turquoise color. So let me show you one more time. So these are the turquoise color, right? So this is a May evening, sky is rather blue and turquoise color, right? And which invests the scene with a kind of lyricism and gracefully attenuates the atmosphere of decay. So this country has a lyricism. Lyricism, do you remember? It's like lyricism is like countryside, right? This is a countryside atmosphere and gracefully attenuates. So here, attenuates means reduces. This area, the New Orleans area, has an atmosphere which reduces down to a decay. So this town being poor and old, this has something rotten atmosphere, right? So you can almost feel the warm breath of a brown river beyond the river warehouses with their faint redolences of bananas and coffee. So you can almost smell and you can feel the warm breath of brown river. So if you look at the river in a dark area, this is an evening time becoming dark, the river sometimes look brown color. So you feel the warm breath of brown river beyond the river houses, warehouses. Warehouse is a house that stores several different tools, like hammers or nails and monkey spanners and various tools are stored in the warehouse. So I guess there is a river beyond this building, and river has a warm brown color, and you feel warm breath of river, and also it has a faint redolence of bananas and coffee. So I guess you remember the meaning of redolence, right? The smell. The river has a smell of bananas and coffee. A corresponding air is evoked by the music of Negro entertainment at a bar room around the corner. So this New Orleans air, New Orleans atmosphere has a music of Negro entertainers, African American entertainers, bar around the corner. There is a lot of bar in New Orleans. And in the bar, African American musicians play the music and you can hear the music. And in this part of New Orleans, you are practically always just around the corner. So in this town, you are always just around the corner. It means that this town is really old and they have a lot of building. So building is really built close together. So it looks like you are in on the corner. So it means this town is old and we have a lot of buildings, house buildings in this area. Or a few doors down the street from a tiny piano being played with infatuated fluency of brown fingers. And also, wherever you go in this New Orleans town, you can hear the piano music all the time, played by infatuated fluency, very skillful. You can hear very skillful piano music everywhere you go in this New Orleans town. And this blue piano expresses the spirit of the life which goes on here. So this piano music seems to reflect and express the spirit of life that goes on in this town. So two women, one white and one colored, are taking there on the steps of building. So in front of Elysian Field, we have two women, one white woman and one colored woman. So one student asked me a question that this one white woman is a Eunice, and Eunice is a Mexican. And can she be like white? Yes, there are some Mexican people look really white. So yes, Eunice is a white and she's a Mexican. It's possible. Good question. Okay. So, and they are taking a air. They're having a conversation and they're taking a break in front of the house. So the white woman is Eunice, who occupies the upstairs flat. So Eunice is the owner. She occupies the upstairs of the flat, and the colored woman is a neighbor. She lives next door, nearby. For New Orleans is a cosmopolitan city where there is a relatively warm and easy intermingling of races in the old part of town. So New Orleans is a cosmopolitan city, so international city. You guys remember the meaning of international, right? And in New Orleans area, it's relatively easy to intermingle. Intermingle is a mix, right? Easy to mix with various races with each other in New Orleans area. And above the music of the blue piano, the voice of people on the street can be heard overlapping. So in this background, white building, two women stand by together, and you can hear the background blue piano music overlapping with people's telling sound. Okay? And two men come around the corner, Stanley Kowalski and Mitch. So we have two men, Stanley and Mitch. They're about 28 or 30 years old, roughly dressed in the blue denim work clothes. So they are around like 28 or 30 years old wearing a blue color. So it means that they are working class people. Stanley and Mitch, working class people wearing blue. And Stanley carries his bowling jacket and a red stained package from a butcher's. Right? So here, Stanley and he carries his jacket on one hand, and he carries something, some package in his right hand, in on the other hand, and it has a red stain packages from the butchers. So it has red stains, right? Packages. You guys remember, right? So this is a package, and they stop at the foot of the steps. So here is a Elysian Field, and they stopped at the foot of this house. So two men, Mitch and Stanley, stopped at the foot of the steps. Is this part right here? Both of them stopped, and Stanley says, "Hey there, Stella, baby." He calls out his wife, right? "Hey there, Stella." And Stella comes out on the first floor landing. So Stella comes out because the husband calls upon her. So Stella come out of the house. Right? And a gentle young woman, about 25. She's like about 25-year-old and quite gentle young woman, and of a background obviously quite different from her husband. Stanley. Stanley is from working class people, but she came from different background. She came from more rich part of the area. And Stella says mildly, smoothly, don't holler at me like that. Don't holler. Holler means don't call me. Don't call me like baby in public places where there are many people watching. And he also greets Mitch, says, hi, Mitch. And Stanley says, catch, right? And he just threw this package to her and says, catch, right? And Stella says, what? Stanley says, meat. I guess Stanley picked up the meat from a butcher's, right? And B heaves the packages at her. So he swings. Stanley swings the package at the seller. She cries out in protest. So she screams. She screams. The reason why is she didn't expect anything, and it looked quite dark and it has some red stains on it. So she doesn't know what it is. So just she screams in protest, but she managed to catch it. She catches the meat eventually. Then she laughs breathlessly. She laughs so hard. Her husband and his companion have already started back around the corner. So after throwing the package to a wife, uh, Stanley and Mitch, they just already left the scene and heading back to the bowling alley. So Stella calls after his husband and says, Stanley, where are you going? And Stanley says, bowling. Stella asks, can I come watch? And Stanley says, come on. And he goes out. Okay. And Stella, be over soon. Stella just came out of the house and she's not ready to go to a bowling alley. So she needs some time to prepare for the going to bowling alley. So she says to her husband, Stanley, I will be there. I will be over to the bowling alley soon. You go first and wait, and I'll go in and wear makeup and wear dress up, and I'll be in the bowling alley too very soon. And also, Stella asked a question to a white woman. Hello, Eunice, how are you? And Eunice says, I'm all right. Tell Steve to get him a poor boy's sandwich, cause nothing left here. So Eunice finds out that the Stella will be going to a bowling alley, and I guess Steve is Eunice's husband, and Steve is in a bowling alley. So Eunice is asking a favor to Stella. Hey Stella, tell my husband Steve to get him a poor boy's sandwich when he comes home. When he comes home, please buy some sandwiches for our poor son because at home here there is nothing for the dinner for our boy, our son. So tell my husband when he comes home, please pick up some sandwiches. And they all laugh, and the colored woman does not stop. Stella goes out. So all the women laugh together, and in particular, the colored woman doesn't stop, and she just keep on laughing, and Stella goes out. And colored woman says, what was that package he threw at her? Threw. What was the package that the Stanley threw at Stella? And she rises from steps, laughing louder. The colored woman laughs loudly. And Eunice says, you hush now. Be quiet. And Negro woman says, catch what? And she continued to laugh. Okay. And now eventually Blanche comes around the corner, right? Carrying a valise. So I guess this is a typo, right? She's carrying. Blanche is carrying. A valise is a carrier. You guys also use a lot of carrier, going back and forth from school and house, right? Blanche was also carrying a carrier. She looks at a slip of paper. Slip means a piece of paper, right? So in the piece of paper, there is an address. of Stella written on the paper. So Blanche looks at piece of paper and look at the building, then again the sleep, and again at the building. She is trying to make sure that the Blanche is in the right place. So her expression is one of a shocked disbelief. So after Blanche find out about Elysian Field, she is shocked. She cannot believe that her sister is living in such a poor place like Elysian Field. Her appearance is incongruous of this setting. So incongruous means unsuited. So Blanche is wearing really fabulous, wonderful dress. So her dress, her appearance is not really going well with this poor New Orleans background. She is daintily dressed in a white suit with a fluffy bodice. So she is daintily, elegantly. So Blanche is dressed elegantly in a white suit with a floppy bodice. Bodice is the upper part. She is dressed white, upper part of the body. And, and suit with a fluffy bodice. So her upper part of the body is quite fluffy. So floppy body, right? And she's got quite a dress and necklace and earrings of pearl. So she has necklace and she has some earrings, and white gloves and hat. And she's wearing a white gloves, and, and she's wearing a hat. And looking as if she were arriving at a summer tea or cocktail party in the Garden District. So it looks like Blanche arrives in a tea party or cocktail party in the summer. So she's about 5 years older than Stella. So she's older than Stella. Delicate beauty must avoid the strong light. It seems that her beauty, her appearance, Blanche's appearance, needs to avoid a strong light. So there is something about her uncertain manner. So the way she moves, the way she behaves, there is something uncertain, something unstable about her behavior, as well as white clothes. So she wears a white clothing, but there is something uncertain, unstable about her white clothing. That suggests a moth. She somehow reminds us with this moth, even though she dressed white and she looked a little bit better like a moth. And Eunice finally says, the white woman, owner of the house, she asks, what's the matter, honey? Are you lost? So she asks question to Blanche, are you lost? And Blanche says, with a faintly Hysterian humor, they told me to get a streetcar named Desire and then transfer to one called Cemeteries and ride 6 blocks and get off at Elysian Field. So they told me to get a streetcar named Desire, then transfer, get another streetcar called the Cemetery, and ride 6 more blocks and get off at the Elysian Field. So that's how she come here, she explains. So not only the Desire and the Cemeteries and Elysian Field is a name of a place, but also it has other meanings in the dictionary meaning, right? So, desire, you guys know, desire is lust or wanting, right? And cemetery is a tombstone. And Elysian Field, it means also a heaven. So it seems that this sentence right here, it foreshadows, it seems to tell us the future of Blanche. So she is going to have a lot of lust, a lot of wanting, and because of that lust, she will gonna get kill herself. She's gonna end up being a tombstone, and eventually she's gonna go to heaven, Elysian field. So Eunice says, "That's where you are now, right? You are in the right place. You are in Elysian field." And Blanche says, "At Elysian field, she still cannot believe that she is in Elysian field, right place, because this place looks very old and dirty and poor." And Eunice says, "This here is Elysian field." And Blanche says, "They mustn't have understood what number I wanted." She still cannot believe she is in the right place. So she says, "Oh, these people who told me to how to get here, maybe this misunderstand about my information. They gave me information about the wrong place." And Eunice says, "What number are you looking for?" And Blanche really refers to the slip of paper. So really means weekly, refers to, she looks at, Blanche looks at her piece of paper, which has an address of Elysian Field, and Blanche says 632, and Eunice says, "You don't have to look no further." So you guys know what it means, right? You are in the right place. You are here, right? You don't have to look no further. And Blanche says, "I'm looking for my sister, Stella Dubois. I mean, Mrs. Stanley Kowalski." Oh, and uncomprehendingly, she still cannot believe that she is in the right place. But anyway, she's, "I'm looking for my sister Stella." Oh, I mean, now Stella is married to Stanley Kowalski. So I mean, Mrs. Stanley Kowalski. And Eunice says, "Oh, that's the party. Yes, that is the right group. That is the right group of people you are looking for, Mr. Stanley and Mrs. Stanley. And you just did miss her, though. Oh, you just miss her. She just went outside bowling alley." And Blanche says, "Oh, this, can this be her home? So really, is this her home?" And Eunice says, "She's got the downstairs here, and I got up. Yes, Stella got downstairs, I got upstairs." And Blanche, "Oh, she's out? You noticed that bowling alley around the corner?" So Eunice asks, Have you seen, when you come here to Elysian Field, have you seen the bowling alley just around the corner?" And Blanche says, "No, I'm not sure I did. This is Blanche's first time here, so she doesn't know whether there is a bowling alley or not. She doesn't remember." So Eunice says, "Well, that's where she's at, watching her husband bowl. So yes, that bowling alley, that's where Stella is at. She's watching her husband bowling." And there's a pause. "You want to leave your suitcase here and go find her?" Blanche says, No. And Nigroman says, "I'll go tell her you came." And Blanche says, "Thank you." And Nigroman, "You're welcome." She goes out. And Eunice, "She wasn't expecting you." Blanche says, "No, no, not tonight." And Eunice says, "Well, why don't you just go in and make yourself a home till they get back?" So Eunice suggests, "Why don't you go inside Stella's house and take a break?" And Blanche doesn't know how to get in. And so asks question, how could I do that? How to get in the house when there is no Stella? And Eunice says, "We own this place, so I can let you in." So Eunice, we own the place, so I can let you in inside this house. Okay? So we'll call it a day here. Okay, we'll stop here and continue rest of the part next time. Okay, so I am sorry for delaying this making a video session, and I hope you guys have a good luck with your exam scores. Okay, thank you for everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye. See you next time. Bye.